If y'all are excited to be back, come on now. I'm excited to be back with you. Let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, I got a haircut. Yes, that video showed me with my whole lion's mane that I had last year. We're going to move on, all right? We're going to move on. I feel older, so I felt like I had to cut my hair. So here we are in life. So, man, how many of you guys were at student retreat last year? So that video you just saw, okay, there, I don't see hands, but that's okay. There was like 100, 140 of you guys, I think, that went to that. And it was an amazing time. All right, we had so much fun. You sixth graders, where are the sixth graders at? Like brand new, where are we sitting? I need to get a lay of the room. Okay, so I got some sixth graders down here, some there, some there. The dudes are over here. Okay. Okay. And then you guys are all the same. Love you guys, seventh grade. Seventh grade's over here, freshmen. Okay, cool. All right, so sixth graders, you have no context for what that video was. But every year, we do a student retreat. And so what that means is it's a Friday night and all day Saturday. And you guys come, it's essentially a camp, but within like 24 plus hours, okay? And there's tacos, there's pizza, there's amazing worship, there's some guest speakers we bring in, there's cool breakout sessions, there's silent disco. Come on, we love silent disco. So we've got crazy games that we play. So I am here to tell you, not only are we kicking off the school year, but tonight, what time is it? Literally right now, it's 7 o'clock. Our student retreat for 2026 registration opens. And we are calling it Stay. So you guys may be like, what the heck? What does that even mean, dude? Well, one, it's going to have everything you love. It's got messages from guest speakers. It's got worship. It's got the tacos. It's got the pizza. It's got silent disco still, okay? We're bringing back silent disco. But what we want to do with this retreat, it's happening in January. What we want to do is we want to ask you the question, what would change if you stayed in the presence of Jesus? What would change in your schools if you spent more time at his feet? What would change in your communities if you sat in his presence a little bit longer? So we're going to be tackling that big idea in January. So here's what I want to tell you about this. It's $100. That covers all your food. It covers a cool goodie bag that we're going to create that you're going to get on the way in. It's going to cover silent disco costs. It's going to cover all the snack costs, breakfast costs. Any food you get will be paid for, all of that stuff. But we have a limited amount of spots. I know. So I guarantee you there's more than 200 of you in the room right now, but we have a limited amount of spots of 200. All right, so registration is open. I want you, if you need to text your parents right now and say, get me signed up. It's on our website. It's on our Instagram. You can find it on all those places, but it starts tonight. Tonight is when it opens. Cool? Great. Let's jump into this school year, though. I am excited for this school year. We are going to start it off right because tonight we are going to lay the foundation for what the rest of this school year could and should look like. Okay, so can we do that tonight? Now, I brought in, this isn't just Rob show off your nerdy Lego collection, but here we are in life. So this is this dude. I meant to fix this. Tyler, can you confirm for me, are you the one that goes in my office and puts Yoda's head up here? You liar. I don't think I did that. Every time I come in the office, Yoda's head is off of here and it's like over here. So, but I'm a big Star Wars fan. Any other Star Wars fans out there? Okay, great. We love that. We love Star Wars. Now, here's the thing that you need to know about Legos, okay? So a Lego is really only as good as its foundation. Okay, a Lego is only as good as its base. So these Legos I like having in my office because they look good. They have these little bases around the edge. This one has a little thing that talks about it's a 25th year Millennium Falcon. It's got a nice little stand like this. This is dangerous. This little thing right here holds it up. If I drop this, I might cry and walk off stage, but it's okay. It's got a good base to it. But I want to tell you a fun fact about Legos that you might not know if you're a Lego person. I want to show you this picture. This is a different Star Wars build. Look at that. So this is a Star Wars build, and you can see something odd in the middle of it. You see the pink Lego block. Fun fact and rumor, cannot confirm if this is true, but I'm going to tell you it anyway. But consensus on the internet is that when Lego designers are creating these, If they work a pink brick into the build, Lego buys them all cake. So I don't know if that's true or not, but people around the internet seem to believe it is true. And so this is in the middle of a different build, because when the build is finished, not fully finished, but when the next step is done, this is what it looks like. There it is, right there. You can't see that pink brick anymore. The pink brick is covered up. But what is the pink brick acting? It is acting as the base that is holding all of it together. It's what's underneath this Yoda hut right here. It's what's inside of this Falcon that I can pick it up and it has weight to it. You might look at these and go, there's no way there's 1,000 pieces on this small set. No, this set is exactly 1,000 pieces. So there's pieces inside of it that build the foundation. And we don't talk about those pieces very often. We're talking about an idea of truth today. And truth is one of those things that it builds our foundation for everything that we do. Every decision we make, everything that we do throughout our day is based around what we believe as truth. And truth is a foundation that doesn't get talked about. But here's the deal. Truth is the key foundational piece to our lives as Christians. Okay? Christians, we have to have a foundation of what truth is, because if we don't, what's going to shape our decisions? What's going to shape our beliefs? What are we going to stand on? There's a line in Hamilton where he says, if you stand for nothing, Burr, what will you fall for? Because if you don't stand on something, what are you really going to fall for? What are you going to climb the hill and say, no, this is a thing that is important to me, if there's no stance on a foundation? So today we're here to talk about our foundation. So we're in this series, You Can't Handle the Truth. We're going to be talking about truth for the next few weeks. And here's the deal. If you're taking notes, get your Bibles out, get your pens out. I'm going to tell you right now, right at the top of your notebooks, I want you to write big, bold letters that say, I am. I am. Simple statement. We're going to unpack it. I am. So as you're writing that and as you finish, I want you to flip in your Bibles to John 14:6. It's a very famous verse. John, if you don't know, was a gospel in the Bible. What does that mean? Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Gospels. They're tellings of Jesus' life on earth. They tell the story. They were written by his closest friends, his followers, people who understood him, who listened to him, who heard his teaching. And John is one of those people. But here's the unique thing about John. John is the clearest explanation of Jesus as God in the Gospels. It's a little murky sometimes. Like, you could probably read it and be like, dude, I don't understand 50% of that. Yeah, because John's very heady. John is very, philosophical in nature. It's very up here. You really have to dive deep to understand him. But he's the clearest picture of Jesus as God. So I want to unpack one of Jesus' statements in John. So this comes from John 14:6. You ready? Jesus answered, I am the, no one comes to the Father except through. Some of you might have that memorized. It's a very popular verse, and I want you to see something. He says 3 things about himself. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Now, nerd out with me here for a minute. I'm going to take you to the Greek. The Greek in this, I am the way, the truth, the life. The, we know, is an article in English, but in the Greek when John was writing it, was a definitive article, which meant what John was saying about Jesus, what Jesus was saying about himself, is I am the only way. I am the only life. I am the only truth. Jesus wasn't just saying, I am a truth. Jesus is saying, I am the truth. Jesus is not a truth, he is the truth. And this is a much larger claim than we actually give Jesus credit for. And this is where we go to this idea of I am. Jesus was actually making a claim that, guys, I am God. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am God. God equals Jesus. Jesus equals God. They're the same God, but they're aspects of God. But Jesus was declaring to the people listening, guys, I am God now here on earth. And John writes this a little more clearly in other parts of his gospel. I want you to take you back to John 1. Look at this. It says this. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was God. Okay, so who's the Word? Then he goes on in a few verses later. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. Okay, who's John talking about? We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. John is saying, God is the Word was there in the beginning, the Word is Jesus. John is saying, Jesus came down and made his dwelling among us. He uses this word logos. Everybody say logos. That's what word is in the Greek. And the cool thing is this word meant ultimate truth, logic, and wisdom of the universe in their context. And so what he's saying is, truth isn't this abstract idea. Like, what is truth? Think about it. What is truth? No, we're not talking about ideas. We're not talking about just out there like, whoa, what is truth? What is good? What is bad? That's not what we're talking about. John is saying truth has come down. Truth has a face. Truth is Jesus. And then he goes on to make this claim of I am the way, the truth, and the life. And fun fact about I am, we're doing a lot of words here, so keep track if you're writing notes, okay? I am was the way God talked about himself in the first half of the Bible. How many of you know the story of Moses and the burning bush? So Moses goes, and there's this bush that's on fire, but it's not actually burning. And he sees it, and God starts talking to him through the bush. And he realizes God is the bush on fire. He's trying to talk to me. And so he says, Moses, I'm going to send you and rescue my people from slavery. You need to go and talk to Pharaoh, the king, and I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And Moses is like, hey, God, I can go. I have a stutter, but I can go. That true fact about Moses, he couldn't talk very well. And Moses goes, but God, if they challenge me and they say, who sent you? Who am I supposed to say? The Egyptians don't believe in you, so who do I say sent me? God says 2 words. He says, tell them, I am sent you. I am. Because God was the highest, the most important. So when God says, I am, he is everything. And he created everything under him. So Jesus is saying, I am the way. But here's the thing. I am. You think about that statement, and I'm brought back to something that I actually saw on Instagram this week. And I didn't realize, I have it in here, it says, on a cruise, I didn't realize this happened in Vegas, okay? So this is a story that came from Vegas. How many of you have seen the fake Justin Bieber? Has any of you seen that? So recently at the Wynn Casino and Hotel, which you might know where that is, there was a guy that looks so much like Justin Bieber. I saw the video. He's got the tattoos and everything. It's crazy. And he's wearing these glasses. He legitimately looks like Justin Bieber. Up close, he's like the Temu Bieber. But he looks like Justin Bieber. And so much so that the DJ who was performing for a party invited him on stage to perform. And they kept going for a good amount of time before security realized the ruse. They kicked him out. He's not allowed back in. But I want you to think about meeting your favorite celebrity. Think about your favorite celebrity in your head. I have met Ed Sheeran. I know, fun fact. I should have put the photo up, but I don't have the photo with me. But there's a moment, if you've ever met somebody that is famous and you're like, oh my gosh, I love them, they're so amazing. There's a moment when you get to that spot and you go, are you actually the real person? Like in your head, you're like, is this really him? Did he just send out an Ed Sheeran fake? Did Justin Bieber just send out a fake? I don't know. But there's a moment where you have this realization that they could look at you and go, yeah, I'm really him. Hi, nice to meet you. That was what God was doing. He was saying, you know about this God. I am him. Jesus was saying, I am the truth. I am God. Nice to meet you, John. That's what Jesus was saying in this statement. So what does I am the truth actually mean? Let's unpack it. I want to take you back thousands of years. Jesus says, I am the truth. What was his original audience thinking? His original audience was Israelites. They had been following their whole life something called the Torah or the law. And the law was made up of, get this, 600 plus rules that they had to follow. Many of you are breaking them today. Did anybody have breakfast bacon? Anybody have bacon for breakfast? You don't want to show your hand. It's not a sin, I promise. It's an old law. We can eat bacon now, guys. That was in the law. You couldn't eat bacon. One of you guys are actually breaking a rule not knowing it. They weren't allowed to wear clothing of mixed fibers. So if you're wearing anything polyester, you're breaking the law that the Israelites had to follow. So these 600 laws that they followed, when he says, I am the truth, for them, what was the truth? The truth was the law. So they were like, Jesus, no, the law is the truth. You fall under the law. We follow the law, Jesus. The law is the truth. Truth is the law. But Jesus comes into the picture, and check this. This is one of the first sermons he preached to the people at the time. This comes from Matthew 5. You have heard it said, a.k.a. you remember in the law, to people long, long ago, you shall not murder, but anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. This isn't a message on murder, but if you've murdered anybody, we'd like to talk to you and pray for you and probably turn you into the cops. Then Jesus says this. He says, but I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Jesus says, you've heard it said in the law, this is the truth you currently live under, but I say to you this. He's redefining what their truth looked like. Their truth was law, and Jesus redefined it. Fast forward. Jesus is on the scene. Jesus dies. He raises from the dead. He goes up to heaven. His followers start something called the church. So the early church is happening. These are early followers of Jesus. What did the truth mean to them? They didn't follow the law anymore. Jesus came to fulfill it, so they're under a new law. Okay, it's Jesus' law, his truth. So what does it mean to them? Let's fast forward. 1 Timothy 1, 3 through 4. This is a letter to a church. As I urged you when I went into Macedonia, you could read this, as I urged you as I went into Las Vegas. Stay there in Ephesus. Maybe he says, stay there in Summerlin. It's a little fancier. Stay down in downtown Summerlin. Imagine he's writing this to you so that you may command certain people not to teach false doctrines any longer, or to devote themselves to myths and endless genealogies. Such things promote controversial speculations rather than advancing God's work, which is by faith. The truth at the time for the people living in that Greek world, in Macedonia, in Ephesus, was any new philosophy that came out. That's the truth. Plato, Socrates, anything they say, that's the truth. New teachings, that's the truth. New ideas, that's the truth. We discover gravity, that's the truth. Gravity is true. Gravity, that's the truth. It is a true statement. It is not the truth. They had all these different things, and Paul's writing to them, and he's saying this. He says, your truth is being threatened by myths and new teachings. Jesus is the truth. Paul was guarding the truth. For them, it couldn't be the new teaching and the new philosophy. That's what the truth was. See, truth, Jesus is not a truth. He is the truth. Paul was reiterating that. But truth is the foundational piece of our lives. When you guys make a decision, it's that core middle piece that's in the middle of this, that's pink. It's that foundation, that thing we don't always see, that we don't always talk about. But it's there, and it shapes everything we believe and do. That's what truth is. So fast forward farther. We're thousands of years past the early church. We are in the year of 2020, 2025. How many of you are already ready for 2026? Oh, I heard somebody in the front go, me. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. All right. What does I am the truth actually mean to us? Robert, we don't follow the law. We're not following new, different philosophies that come out of the Greek culture. That's great for them, but what does it mean to us? Here's what it means to us. Our truth has become culture, and Jesus stands against it. That's a bold statement, and here's why that's a bold statement. We live in a culture of live your truth. That's my truth. Well, I define what truth is. That is not what Jesus taught. See, Paul, it's so crazy. Paul wrote about this thousands of years ago, and I want you to listen to what he wrote to Timothy. This is in his second letter to Timothy. So the first one was talking about myths. Listen to this second one, and tell me if this does not fit our culture. You ready? For the time will come, maybe 2025, when people will not put up with sound doctrine. That means solid teaching. People will not put up with solid teaching. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say, I love this phrase, I love this, to say what their itching ear wants to hear. They will turn their ears away from truth and turn aside to myth. Did you catch what I love that phrase. To say what their itching ears want to hear. Do we not live in a culture that is looking for, I don't want to listen to you because you don't agree with what I believe. I listen to you because you believe the same thing as me. We know the truth. We look for the people that confirm what we want to be true. We look for the people that confirm what we believe is true. It's a thing called confirmation bias. We look for the people that will affirm me and suit Notice that. Suit their own desires. We are looking for that truth in our culture. That's what culture tells us. But Paul wrote this, and this idea is he's trying to tell us that can't be the case. Being true to yourself and nobody can tell what right and wrong is, you define it. That doesn't work. It doesn't. It's a nice thought. It gives me no pressure to be challenged by anybody. If whatever I believe is true, then it's true. Great, then you can't disagree with me. Makes it simpler for me. But it doesn't make sense. Look at this. If a truth is different for everyone, then truth no longer means anything. Truth in and of itself means nothing if we all define truth our own way. Listen to this. I'm going to do this logically, and I'm going to do it practically. You ready? Logically, 2 + 2 equals 5. It's what I believe. My truth is that 2 + 2 equals 5. But I can tell you right now that if I took 2 pieces off of here and took 2 pieces off of here and held them in front of you, he saw it dying. Wow, what a pro. Everybody give it up for Simon. It's okay, because I was in a yelling moment anyway. So I could pull 2 pieces here, 2 pieces here, and we could literally count the pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a solid truth. Logically, we can't all have different truths. Let me go practically. Video gamers. Any video gamers in the room? Yes. Okay, put your hands back down. I'm not talking about Minecraft. Get that crap out of here. I'm not talking about Fortnite. Get that out of here. I want to go OG, all right? No shame against it. OG, all right? How many Mario Kart players in the room? Thank you. Okay. I want you, first off, here's what I'm going to do. You video gamers want to get a little angst out right now. You don't get to talk a lot unless you got your little headset on. You're like, I'm going to get you on round 3. I'm going to let you talk for just a second. Ready? You're going to have a split second to talk. If you play Mario Kart, I want to hear who your main racer is right now. Ready? 3, 2, 1. If you said anything other than Dry Bowser, you're wrong. We're going to move on. Half of you were like, yeah, I love this guy, Dry Bowser, cool. And half of you were like, he lost all credit. Nothing he's saying is true. Nothing he says is true. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Now focus in, and I want you to think about this. Ready? I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine, and please don't be yelling back and forth at me right now. Just listen and imagine this scenario. We're playing Mario Kart together, okay? I'm playing you, you're playing me. We got another couple people. We got at least 8 more people, right? Whoever just yelled out, you lose. I'm so sorry. That's your truth, but Jesus is the truth, and I've won because I've got him behind me. So, wow, that came out of nowhere. I am so sorry. I would love to match you up in Mario Kart, bro. I would love to race you in Mario Kart. But here, listen to this with me. Me and you were playing Mario Kart. We got other people with us, all right? We do. And we're driving, and we're on Rainbow Road. We're on the hardest one, right? Maybe it's not. I don't know. We're on Rainbow Road, though. We're doing good, though, because we got the little keep you in the middle thing that's on. But we're racing, and I'm going, and you are in second place. I'll give you that. You are in second place. I will put myself in 6th, okay? I'm in 6th place. We're racing. In the middle of the race, stand up, and I'm like, yes! And I put my controller down. You're like, what the heck? Dude, you're still going. You're like, we're racing. I'm drifting. I got to get around this corner. I just got a blue shell, bruh. We're racing, and I stand up, and I'm like, yes! You're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I just won. I won. Because that was the finish line. You're like, no, dude, the finish line's right there. You can see it on the little map, bro. Follow it. You can see it. And I say, no. That's the truth. The finish line's right where I was. And you're like, no, dude, the finish line has a spot. There's a spot where the finish line is. You got to get there before me. That's how you win. I say, no. The truth is, I just crossed the finish line. How does that not work? Because there is a thing that is true about the game. I don't decide where the finish line is. You don't decide where the finish line is. Are you catching my drift? Your truth, my truth, if they are not the truth, don't matter because they're no longer true. Okay? That is why we need one real truth, and it is Jesus. Because if we look at what Jesus presents, he doesn't say, I'm Jesus, live your own truth. No. Jesus declares, I am the truth. I'm not built on shifting feelings. I'm not built on high moments. I'm not built on good emotions. I'm built on the foundation of my justice, love, and holiness. And that is the truth. And you can stand on it in the middle of a storm. You can stand on it in the middle of a fire. And you might be sitting out there and you go, Robert, but you're locking me in a cage. You're putting me in a prison. No, I'm actually not. It's actually more free to be able to stand on a truth where I can move around and make decisions in my life knowing my foundation is solid than having to decide my truth in the moment. There's more freedom because my feet are on solid ground. Now I make a decision. I take it to Jesus. So Jesus is not a truth. He is the truth. Okay? Now, here's where you're not going to clap because I'm going to push you. I want to ask you a question. I want you to really think about this. Here's why my truth is so popular. It's because of this question. Where do you find truth? See, when it comes down to it, we can find it in Scripture. We can find it in Jesus. Or are you finding truth in a 1-minute TikTok video? Or are you finding truth in your friend circle? Or are you finding truth in just a book that you picked up off of a bookshelf in a bookstore? Or are you reading the Bible and finding your truth from that? Is your truth coming from the songs you listen to? Is your truth coming from the interview your favorite celebrity just did? Is your truth coming from your parents? If it's not the foundation of Jesus coming from them, I'm sorry, it's not the truth. I love your parents. You should love them too. But if they are not teaching Jesus, it's not the truth. Same with your social media feed. I hate to say it, but some of us can't handle this truth because we say, no, everybody else is saying it. So when it comes to truth, who's the loudest voice in your life? Is it Jesus or is it someone else? That's what I hope you unpack tonight in small groups. So we're going to be going into small groups here in a little bit, but we're going to do another worship song. But I want you to think about that. So would you pray with me as we go into this worship song? Don't rush yet. We're good. Calm down. Logan's up here playing nice music, and you're just rushing. Can we pray together before we jump into worship? Man, it is kickoff. Our energies are high. God, thank you for tonight. God, thank you for who you are. Thank you that, Lord, you came down as God's son to declare what truth truly was. God, there's so many people in our lives that are saying certain things about what truth could be or what truth should be or what truth is going to be in 2028. No, God, if our truth isn't built on the foundation of you, God, we don't want it. And I pray that's the desire of every person here, every adult, every leader, every student. Lord, would we build our foundation on who you are and the truth, not a truth. God, in your holy name, we all say, amen.